Yeah. Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins. Can't relax. Original. I am not the same as the...
And welcome to this Monday edition NHL betting preview, Pucks Across Borders, live on Pucks Across Borders YouTube and Total Apex Sports on X. It's good to be back. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Lots to get into from the week that was. 40 minutes till puck drop in Buffalo and 3 other games to get to as well. We will get to all of it. But first, as always, Andre, how you feeling on a Monday, bro? It's good to see you. That hat is like bumming me out for your sake a little bit. Like you look a little bit defeated, but you know I'm here for you.
Yeah, at least it's the Super Bowl hat. It's some type of all 4 of them. You know, shout out to the Giants for how pulling a rabbit out of a hat 4 times because they haven't come close anytime since. I'm doing pretty well though. Can't complain. Got some snow. I love snow. I'm a cold weather guy, even though I was born in the dead of summer. So it's nice to see the white fluffy stuff that doesn't go in your nose. I didn't need to finish that joke. I don't know why I did. But here we are.
Yeah, that's for a different show. That's for the 10:30. That's for the late night, the nightcap, the Pucks Across Borders nightcap. That's a different environment altogether. But yeah, it's great to be back. Like we said, 4 games to talk about in the NHL tonight, some things to discuss over the weekend. Let's just run through it real quick. On Sunday, the Rangers, your New York Rangers, beat the Blackhawks 6-2. Yesterday, the Islanders beat the Bruins 5-4. Penguins beat the Hurricanes, Penguins lose to the Hurricanes in overtime 4-3. Maple Leafs beat the Flyers in overtime 3-2. And the Anaheim Ducks 4-1 winners over the Lightning. Few things that we can talk through. And in the pre-show, we actually didn't bring this up. I forgot to mention this when we were doing the pre-show, Andre. But I think, I don't know, I've been here for a while, and I think you have been as well. There's certain teams who go through ups and downs in the seasons, and you're just waiting for them to pick it up and be the team that they've been historically, to be the team that everybody thought they would be before the season, all these things. I think the Boston Bruins are officially what they are right now. Losing 2 games in a row over the weekend, being outscored, I believe, 11-8, which in those 2 games, Saturday and Sunday, which sure you score 8 goals, and you get the point against Toronto yesterday. But this team, if the Boston Bruins are allowing 11 goals in 2 games, they're just not going to win. And I think it is fair to say, and I know Tampa Bay has been kind of going through their, I think they've lost like 4 in a row or something like that. And I know they lost to the Ducks on Sunday, which I don't think is as bad of a thing as it may have been over the last couple of years. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I just feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like, if there's any team, and we talked about this yesterday, but the more I watch this team, the more I don't buy this Bruins team anymore, man. I just think they're just that team that, you know, death taxes and Boston finding a way into the playoffs. And if there's ever a year that's not going to happen, I think it's this one. It just feels that way right now.
I'm right there with you. What did I text you something over against bad teams? Don't play complimentary hockey, right? And I feel like the Bruins kind of fit that mold. When they score, they allow a ton of goals. When they play great defensively, have good, a strong goaltending performance, they don't score. Losing to the Capitals in DC is fine. Losing to the Leafs in Toronto is fine. Doing so close to each other, not a good sign for if you want to be a good team. But having sandwiched between those two losses, a loss to the Rangers, and then after that, a home loss to the Islanders, brutal.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, that's a rough 4-game losing streak because realistically, defense and goaltending was good enough to win 2 of those games, fell flat. The offense was good enough to win the next 2, fell flat. And 2 of those teams are teams that you should be beating if you expect to be a playoff team this season.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And if you're allowing, I mean, the 5th goal wasn't overtime, but if you're allowing 5 goals to the Islanders, man, that's a tough. The Islanders can't score 5 goals against anybody. That's just what it's been all year long. The next point we both kind of wanted to talk about, so tee it up for us. Anaheim Ducks, 4-1 winners over the Tampa Bay Lightning the other night. I have been a champion of the Ducks plus 1.5 for the last few games now. Talk to us about the Ducks, man. What are you seeing here over the last week or so?
The Mighty Ducks are mighty. It's not just part of their former name. They've won 4 of their last 5. You look at who they played: Edmonton, Jersey, Winnipeg, Edmonton again, Tampa. That's 4 playoff teams in a 5-game stretch. That is, I swear I'm good at math, that's 8 out of 10 possible points. The lone loss 2-3 in Edmonton on Friday, that was the second half of back-to-back for them after beating the Jets. They didn't allow more than 3 goals to any of those teams. Incredible defensive and goaltending performances. 2 games before that stretch, they also did allow more than 3 goals. So that's 7 in a row now, where 4 goals is going to win it for them, guaranteed. Offensively, they're scoring multiple goals in all these games. I mean, to do it, I think the most impressive for me was the Winnipeg Edmonton back-to-back because, you have to travel. Tough win against Winnipeg on Thursday, went into OT. You got that one out. Very impressive. Then you have to fly to Edmonton. It's the dead of winter going from freaking Winnipeg to Edmonton. Not easy, especially for a SoCal team.
Yeah.
And they handled business. I mean, the fact that they even got off the runway is a miracle, but they got off the runway, handled business. I know they lost to Edmonton, but 3-2 in a game like that, the odds were insane, and for good reason. I know you, genius that you are, took Ducks plus 1.5. I think I abstained from that one, but smart money would have probably been Edmonton puck line, just circumstantially. You look at the talent, everything. Ducks did it again. So, obviously yesterday, the 4-1 win over Tampa, they win their homecoming. That's the big statement. But this is a team that 5 games in a row, that plus 1.5 has been money at really good odds. You look at the 2 games before that, they only scored 1 goal. But if they had found their way to 2, that plus 1.5 would have hit again. I mean, they're fighting, they're competing. They're playing really strong, solid, structured defensive hockey. They're tough to get through. The Ducks are a tough out. They're kind of like what the Canadians are doing in the Atlantic right now. It's just beat them. You expect to beat them. You don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but it's not going to be easy. They're going to make you sweat for 60 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing with the Ducks that's been so impressive as of late is, throughout the season, they haven't really had a consistent goal scorer that that this guy's going to get the job done. It's been kind of winning by committee, which is something that you want, but you also want to know that this guy is going to get a goal when you need one. And right now, Terry and Vetrano are scoring a bunch right now. Specifically, Terry. The guy's got 14 goals on the season. Vetrano has a couple recently as well. I think Terry 5 in his last 5 games or 4 in his last 5 games, 7 points in his last 5 games. And what's been really pushing me towards the Ducks plus 1.5 lately, when we see the odds that we've been given, like, what was that? Wasn't it like plus 128 for plus 1.5 against like the Oilers or something around there? is their goaltending is really good. Like their goal scoring is coming around. It's, they're getting 3-4 goals a night right now, but their goaltending is really good, and this team works really hard. It's kind of like the Sharks when, like, remember we were talking about this last week when you watch the Sharks in the offensive zone and it just seems just kind of chaotic and you don't really know what's going on. It kind of feels that way, but the Ducks like work really hard. They, fight for pucks on the boards, puck battles, all that good stuff. And their goaltending is really solid. And so for me, it doesn't really matter who's in net, like Dostal or Gibson. That +1.5 from a gambling perspective is just kind of money right now, like literally. The other one, and you just touched on it, and we're going to talk about them in a few minutes anyway, because they're playing tonight. But the Montreal Canadiens, like you were going through Anaheim's, recent wins. Montreal, they've been beating some really good teams lately. Beating Colorado, beating Vegas. My brain is kind of falling off at this moment. I can't remember who else, but they've been winning some really key games as well. And I'm just saying, from a betting perspective, forget about standings and playoffs and blah, blah, blah. Strictly from a gambling perspective, Anaheim, Montreal +1.5. Keep an eye on that number because it's paying off right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things that lately we like to call free money.
Yep.
Lock it in if you see it.
100%. All right. 4 games to talk about tonight. Before we do, anything else from the weekend that we missed? It was a pretty, kind of status quo weekend. Nothing too crazy, but is there anything that caught your eye that you want to get off your chest before we move on?
Watch Chris Kreider's goal from Saturday afternoon if you have a chance. That's all.
I love it. I think I missed it. Like you were tweeting me. You were texting me about it. But hey, man, Rangers Stars tomorrow night. We'll talk all about it. Talk all about it tomorrow night. All right, moving on. Before we get into the 4 games on the ice tonight, I would like to let everybody know this show is brought to you by First Round Collectibles. Promo code Sports Addict for 10% off any sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. They have an ongoing sale up to 50% off tons and tons of cards. And with our promo code Sports Addict, not only do you get 10% off of regular priced items, but sales items as well. Go to firstroundcollectibles.com today. Use promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order. Promo code Sports Addict for 10% off regular price and sales priced items. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans. Moving on, Washington in Buffalo. Speaking of Washington, man, Ovi, this guy scoring every single night, even if they're empty netter goals, still getting the job done. Scored again the other night. Washington -160 in Buffalo. Buffalo is +132 at home. -1.5 for the Capitals is +164. +1.5 for Buffalo is -210. Over 6.5 is +112, and the under is -140. What do you got, bro? Washington, Buffalo in Buffalo tonight.
Yeah, these odds opened at -140. Loved them for Washington money line. Obviously, they already beat the Sabres less than a month ago, 4-2 at home. They're the better team this year. They, score more, allow fewer, better special teams. Blah 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 blah. With the way the odds have shifted, you can't just take a straight up money line anymore. There's really no value in that. So what I will say, is that for a Sabres team, it's lost 3 in a row. They're 3-12-4 in their last 19. They're not playing well. They're playing a team that's just flat out better than them. Take the 60-minute line, juice up the odds a little bit. This is one of those games where you can get away with it probably. They're +105 for Washington to win in 60 minutes. I don't really know what else to say about these teams, at least head to head. Washington's just flat out better. Washington already beat them. Nobody's really scared to go to Buffalo. So this should be a Washington Capitals win. Just like the last meeting, I'm leaning towards the under. I don't really trust Buffalo's offense, especially not right now. And I know the Capitals, they're one of the highest scoring teams in the NHL, but you're playing on the road and you're playing a goalie, that can make things difficult for them. So a team that scores less on the road, a team that doesn't get as many shots per game on the road, a team that's facing a goalie that's capable of stealing one. I'm going to lean towards the under because last game 4-2. This one, I'm definitely not seeing Buffalo more than 2. I wouldn't be surprised if the Capitals only scored 3 or 4. So under 6.5 for me, Washington 60-minute line.
Yeah, man, you can't in good faith take Buffalo right now. You just can't. They're still losing. I know. Listen, it's not too complicated. You said it absolutely beautifully. Washington is playing really good hockey right now. And you know what, man? Like when you watch the Capitals, and I think the thing that is, kind of making me believe in this team, like week after week after week, game after game, is this is a definition of a team effort. Like everybody's chipping in with this team, man, whether it's Wilson, Protas, McMichael, obviously Ovechkin. On the back end, they're actually not getting a ton of production right now. John Carlson's not really doing a whole lot offensively, but they're just finding a way to grind out these games and to win every single night. And right now, if you're the Buffalo Sabres, you just don't have it. And I just can't. Washington's better and Buffalo's not. It's really that simple. Usually 60-minute lines scare me, but I'm all over this one. I'm right there with you. As far as the total goes, Washington's goaltending has been a little bit shaky lately, and I could see Buffalo getting, maybe 3, and Washington getting 4 or 5. So I'm probably staying away from the total. You said under, right? Under 6.5? Yeah, I'm probably staying away from a total just because, like, Buffalo, as awful as they are, they can score. They can. It like pops up once in a while. But I'm with you on the 60-minute line for Washington. Maybe not the game of the night, but the game that I'm looking the most forward to tonight, personally. I'm really looking forward to this game. I know Florida, Colorado is the next game that we're going to cover, and that game is going to be amazing. But as a Canadian hockey fan, there's a lot to chew on with this game. Vancouver minus 130 in Montreal plus 105. It is now Montreal plus 106, and Vancouver is minus 128, which is interesting how the odds went that way. Minus 1.5 for Vancouver is plus 198. Plus 1.5 for Montreal is minus 250. The over is 5.5 at minus 122, and the under is plus 100. What do you see here, man? Vancouver, Montreal. They're not giving us that super juicy plus 1.5, but they're giving us a good money line value here. What do you see here?
You got me?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Beauty.
So, I mean, it's kind of tough trusting. I don't know where you're at with Vancouver. I know you love the talent on that team. I don't really trust them, at least not right now. I'm not going to say they're a bad team or anything like that, but
no.
The way they've been playing lately, uninspiring for the most part, and 3-0 loss to Nashville at home last time out. I think that pretty much sums it up, right? Offense has been inconsistent lately. Defense, goaltending, they've been allowing 3+ goals almost every single time they touch the ice. And then you look at what Montreal's doing. Maybe the offense has cooled down lately, the past 2 games. They're still playing solid defensively. They're still playing, they're still getting the stops they need to. And this run that they've been on, a lot of it came on the road. Now they're back at home where they have a winning record this year, 10-7-2, 10-9 if you want to get rid of the OT losses. You're a purist. Gonna take the Canadians here. I'm gonna take that plus money. They've been playing better hockey. For me, it's really that simple. That under 5.5, I think, is kind of perfect for this game because both offenses, with what they've done lately, not really sure you can trust them. But at the same time, these are both offenses capable of exploding very easily. So I'm going to stay away from that total.
Yeah, I definitely get the hesitancy on the total. I do love that plus money on that under, though. And Montreal, they love unders lately. 2-1 against Colorado, 3-2 against Vegas. It feels like this Montreal team is just loving the under right now. I'm right there with you, man. Montreal plus 105. I think, straight up in the last 10, Montreal 7-3, Vancouver 3-4-3. Vancouver, we've talked about this for a while now. Bad vibes, kind of, or not bad, just weird vibes surrounding this team right now. Can you believe? Oh, my chat just popped up. Where's Brady? Is this Brady? Oh, it's not Brady. From Mississippi. Well, enjoy the hockey, my friend. It's this is the thing, dude, is like when it comes to that's what I was gonna say. Sorry, my brain just went off track here. There's like a lot of rumors that either JT Miller or Elias Pettersson are going to get traded because those two don't like each other. Can you believe this? I mean, like, I'll just be full disclosure. I haven't done a massive, crazy deep dive. I haven't read every article there is to read about it. I haven't watched every podcast there is to watch about it. I can't believe that you would trade two of your best players because they don't like each other. That seems insane to me. You?
I feel like that happens, though. I mean, especially some people get over it. I guess some people can't. And especially, I know you particularly got on Pettersson a lot last year in the playoffs for his lack of production. Maybe that was part of it. Maybe that's holding the team back. Just that dynamic, and they couldn't repair it anymore. I think you're professionals, getting paid millions of dollars. You probably can and should set it aside, especially if it'll get you immortality at the end. But I'm not JT Miller or Elias Pettersson, so I can't tell them what to do.
No, it's not about telling them what to do. It's the team. Like, if you're a team, if you're an organization, how can you tell your fan base after winning a division last year that we will trade one of our two best players because they fight? They don't like each other. Like, it just feels very off, man. Like, very just not professional. I don't know. And there's man, I can't remember who it is. I wish I could, because that would make me sound much more credible. But there was a former player from the Canucks. It wasn't anybody like, it wasn't like, like Daniel, like the Sedin brothers or nothing crazy like that. But it was somebody who basically said that, like, Miller, as the veteran, was really hard on Pettersson and trying to get him to kind of play the right way, and just that, like, tough love, and that, like, Pettersson's not really built that way and was really sensitive to it and all this deal. But this is a fascinating conversation for another day, because to me, you win the division last year. You already have issues with Demko staying healthy. And quite frankly, I don't think you can rely on Demko being around. Like, if he is healthy, then I think that's an absolute bonus. And I think that that's obviously what you want to happen, is for Demko to be healthy. He's one of the best goaltenders in the world when he's healthy, but we're just not seeing that right now. So I just feel like you got to prepare for a world without him. And if you're the Canucks, man, you need two of your best players, to get along. I'm right there with you, though. Like Pettersson, ever since he signed that deal, it's almost exactly when he signed that deal, his production just took an absolute nosedive. And I'm curious, like really quickly here, we do got to move on here, but really quickly, who are you keeping? Because off the top of my head, it has to be Pettersson, right? But then the longer you think about it, it's like, maybe not. I just feel, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. You tell me what you think here. I feel like you're more likely to win or tie a JT Miller trade than you are to win a Pettersson trade. Because if you trade Pettersson, because he's really young, like if you trade him and he ends up being a superstar, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's a hard situation to read.
I mean, yeah, Pettersson's production, if you're talking pure scoring, better. He's younger, like you said. I'd probably like his shot a little bit more. But JT Miller, he's a winner. He's been on, he's been winning his whole career, really. Maybe he has lapses. Maybe he had, dry spells. I think that's the term I'm really looking for. Maybe it took him a while to come on. He is a bit older, but I think if I was trying to build a championship team, I think I'd rather have JT Miller, at least right now.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, moving on to. Oh yeah, I'm taking the Montreal money line. I don't think I actually said what I think here. I'm taking the Montreal money line. I kind of sidetracked myself there. So my point is, there's a lot of weird stuff going on in Vancouver, and I don't fully trust it. And Montreal's been playing really good hockey, man. Like really, really good hockey. Their goaltending's been solid. Everybody's contributing. I love me some Cole Caulfield getting the job done plus 180. And I'm not also. It looks like. I don't know if Patrick Laine is out of the lineup. He's not on the FanDuel board. But I do like sneaky Kirby Doc plus 380 to get a goal tonight. I will say Quinn Hughes is back in the lineup tonight. So that is something to keep an eye out for. Leaning under, but I definitely like the money line. Moving on to Florida, Colorado. In Colorado, minus 132 are the Avalanche at home. Plus 110 are the Panthers on the road. Minus 1.5 for Colorado is plus 184. Plus 1.5 for the Panthers, minus 230. Over 6.5 is plus 108. And under is minus 132. What do you got here, man? Florida, Colorado, in Denver.
I'm surprised. At least I was surprised by the odds when I first saw this. But then I thought about my gut reaction, which was Colorado's definitely going to win this game. And I guess it just made sense, If I instantly think Colorado is going to win, why wouldn't the odds favor them a decent amount? And I mean, it's more of all respect to Florida, defending champs, but Colorado has been playing better lately. They have a 7-game point streak. I know their 6-game winning streak just ended, but it was in a shootout. So it's basically flipping a coin. You look at Florida, yeah, they've won 2 or 3. They beat the Rangers. They beat the Penguins. Not moved by that. They got shut out in the 2 games before they played the Rangers. In between the wins, they scored once against Carolina. Their offense hasn't really been doing much. You look at the Penguins game, even they scored 2 goals. The third was technically the shootout winner. So it doesn't even really count. I don't trust their offense. And if you're only going to score 2 goals against the Colorado Avalanche, you don't stand a chance. And Colorado already beat this team 7-4 this season. That was in Sunrise. I'm taking Colorado here. I'm taking that money line. I love it. I would risk the puck line. But at minus 130, 132, whatever. I have minus 125 personally. I trust Colorado enough to just win this game. I don't need to get greedy.
Yeah, I love it, man. That's a really good breakdown. I'm leaning Colorado as well. I don't know, man. There's something about this Avalanche team that just still I don't fully know what's going on. I still fully don't trust it. Their offense is definitely picking up a lot lately. Um, I'm still a little bit nervous about the goaltending, and I'm still a little bit nervous of how they play defensively. We know this team's offense is when this offense is on. There are like, excuse me, when you have the Oilers, players like McDavid and Draisaitl, and what the Leafs can do when they're doing their thing, there is probably no more potent offense when they're on than Colorado. And not just potent, but they can score like 3 goals in like a minute. Like they can just take over a game with their offense just like that. And so I'm right there with you. With Florida, man, they're just chilling. Like they just feel like this team that's like, let's just get to the playoff. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you watch them, they just feel like I don't know. It's like they just need to get to the playoffs, and then they're gonna like turn on the switch and just kind of take over. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like they don't really care about the division. They don't really care about whatever. Let's just get to the playoffs and kind of see what's going from there. What makes me nervous about taking Colorado here is just the goaltending matchup. No matter how up and down Florida's goaltending has been, I still would prefer the Panthers goaltending matchup in this situation, but I'm right there with you, man. I'm taking Colorado minus 132 money line. And let's just, sorry, I had it up. Let's pull this up just to show you how absurd this season has been. 2+ points for Nathan MacKinnon is plus 100. The fact you're getting plus money there is actually impressive. This has been in the minuses a lot already this year. Plus 100 for 2+ points for McKinnon. That's unbelievable. So you'll never get me trying to talk you off the ledge of a McKinnon bet. So 2 points for plus 100. Moving on to the last game of the night, New Jersey Devils in Seattle, minus 255 on the money line for the Devils, plus 205 for the Kraken, minus 1.5 is plus 100 for New Jersey, plus 1.5 for the Kraken's minus 122. The over is 5.5 at minus 140, and the under is plus 112. I feel like the Devils have been kind of talking about chilling. I feel like the Devils have been in this weird spot, not scoring a lot of goals. What's their current? I feel like, sorry, I had this up. Where is it? Yeah, 5-5 of the last 10, 4-game winning streak. This feels like they're on the road. It feels like they're going to snap out of it. But they're also on the road on a 4-game losing streak. Maybe Seattle takes advantage of it. This is one of those weird games where it's like, okay, I'm either feeling the Devils minus 1.5 puck line or I'm leaning on Seattle on the upset, on the money line. And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like either of these two scenarios are absolutely possible tonight. What do you see here?
I'm right there with you. I mean, they lost to the Sharks after 3 days off. They got shut out by the Kings. You know, they lost to the Ducks in the first half of that back-to-back when we both thought they were going to smoke the Ducks. They lost to the Canes to start this road trip. They have a 5-game losing streak on the road. They lost to Columbus earlier in December. And I mean, you look at all those games, the common denominator, they're not scoring when they travel right now. 2 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals, shutout, 2 goals. Especially with at least 2 of those teams, Columbus and San Jose in particular, you should be scoring more than 2 goals against them. It doesn't matter where you play. It could be on a pond. It could be in an Olympic stadium. You should score more than 2 goals against those teams, especially the Devils.
Yeah.
So I don't trust that offense at all, especially on the road right now. Seattle, do you trust them to win?
No.
Not really. Do you trust them to keep it tight? Do you trust them to like get to OT or some nonsense like that? I feel like that's a Kraken thing to do. You know, they lose by 1, they probably blow a lead or something. Not playing the best hockey right now. Just kind of a mess season in general. But they can keep this within a goal. You have to think if the Devils, let's say the offense is better, they score 3 goals this time. I think the Kraken have 2 or 3 goals in them at home, right? So I'm going to take that plus 1.5. I'm going to take that plus 1.5 instead of the upset. Upset's possible. These aren't teams you should trust right now, though.
I'm right there with you. I am. I think this is another one of those plus 1.5s. Now, strangely enough, as much as I didn't really like Seattle coming into the season, I would have trusted them more than the Ducks for sure, maybe Montreal as well. But this is another one of those plus 1.5s that I really like. Minus 122, really good value against a New Jersey team. Like you said, man, they're not scoring right now. 4-game losing streak, still minus 255 favorites. I love that plus 1.5 for Seattle. I'm right there, minus 122. Because like I said, like I either expect the Devils to win by 2 or the Seattle win, and you kind of feel out the middle. And I feel like that Seattle plus 1.5, I'd rather get burned that way. I feel like that's like the perfect hedge. So I'm right there with you, Seattle plus 1.5 at minus 122. All right, moving on to our best bets brought to you by First Round Collectibles. Right now with our promo code Sports Addict, get 10% off whatever sports card you want in the entire First Round Collectibles store. Promo code Sports Addict, 10% off your order. FirstRoundCollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans. Thank you to everybody for watching us tonight. We really appreciate it. 5 minutes from puck drop in Buffalo as they host the Washington Capitals, 35 minutes away from puck drop of the Vancouver Canucks and Montreal Canadiens. And I appreciate you for putting up with me today. My son's been sick for a week. He's fine now, but now I'm fighting it. So appreciate you guys hanging out with us and putting up with me tonight. Moving on to our best bets. I do want to give this out as an honorary best bet. This isn't our best bet, parlay, but this is my little best bet parlay. If you are in Canada and you have access to the Amazon Prime Monday night game, hockey night in Canada Monday nights, Amazon Prime, Vancouver in Montreal, FanDuel has a 50% profit boost on a 4-leg or more parlay. So what I have here, Montreal money line under 5.5 goals, Cole Caulfield 4 shots on goal, and Cole Caulfield to score plus 23.89. When you add that 50% boost, plus 23.89. If you don't have the boost, it's plus 15.93. I like that. Cole Caulfield shoots the puck a bunch, scores a bunch, up there with the league leaders. Like we said, under 5.5, Montreal to win. I love it. Where does that lose, Andre? I think it's maybe 100% guaranteed, perhaps.
I was going to say 200%. So, yeah.
300. I raise you 100. 300%.
I can't compete with that. I don't even know if I can count that high.
Yeah, I can for sure. Andre, what is your best bet on this Monday night? Best bets brought to you by First Round Collectibles. What do you got?
Yeah, we're going to the Rockies. I'm taking the future Western Conference champion Colorado Avalanche to get back on track. They're going to beat the struggling Panthers. Money line, I have it at minus 125. I'm locking it in.
Minus 125. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, that is
good,
good.
right?
Yeah, I'm taking Montreal. Been there, done that. Plus 106. Really like this team. Really like where they're at. We just talked about it a few minutes ago. I trust it tonight, man. And these, for you Canadian viewers, also these Monday night like Amazon broadcasts are really good. Like they do a really, really good job. And it's become like a thing. Like nothing, Hockey Night in Canada is Hockey Night in Canada. Nothing's going to replace the hype of Hockey Night in Canada. But this has become like a really, really cool thing. And I hope they keep doing it for years to come. But Montreal plus 106.
Love it. That was my backup plan. So we're in lockstep there. Family play. Do you want a family play? It's only 4 games.
Yeah. I was thinking like either Seattle plus 1.5. I kind of like the McKinnon 2+ points. Or we could just stick with the 2. I don't know. What do you think? Or if there's something else that I'm missing.
I mean, those are my 2 favorites, so I'd be fine sticking with those.
All right.
Honestly,
love it. So what do you got? I feel like you're gonna win then. If you got the minus 125.
Yeah, because I also have Montreal Canadiens plus
113.
So I'm at plus 285.
Wow.
Yeah, plus 285.
Sorry, what was that?
Plus 285.
Look at you, eh? That's pretty good odds over on DraftKings. But FanDuel, still better, even though not this time around. Plus 106 Montreal Canadiens and minus 132 for Colorado is plus 268. And by 268, I mean 262. Don't know why I said 8. Plus 262.
Dyslexia.
Oh, it's a battle. It's a battle. Everybody, thank you so much for watching us. As always, we appreciate you. Right before game time, enjoy the games. Shout out to First Round Collectibles, promo code Sports Addict for 10% off your order, first-round-collectibles.com. And shout out to Total Apex Sport. As always, we appreciate them having us on board. Lots of great football and college football content. TotalApexSports.com as we get closer and closer. Playoffs heating up. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.